I, Rasika Shahane, working as assistant professor at AI SSMS College of Hotel Management and Catering Technology, Pune, welcome you all for my session on situation handling at front office. This chapter aims at understanding the types of complaints, understanding the reasons for complaints, and also understanding the complaint handling procedure. The learning objectives for the session are to understand the types and reasons for complaint and to understand the ways to deal with the complaints. Complaints. Such an unwanted situation in any organization. But when you face a guest who has complaints about your product or services, you should be extremely careful in handling those guests. Complaints. The front office is concerned with the selling of hotels' facilities and services to different types of guests. Even in the best run and best organized hotels, things go wrong. And due to its high visibility, the guests usually approach the front office desk to raise their problems and air their feelings. What goes wrong? Complaints are created by the hotel itself or those created by external factors outside the control of the hotel. On an average, most hotel staff does not enjoy guests with complaints, but they must realize that guests who are buying services are bound to be annoyed if any service rendered by the hotel is not up to their expectations. Every guest would want a product, even a service, worth the money that they're paying. Value for money is the most important aspect for any guest who comes to the hotel to avail a product or a service. If a guest feels ignored while lodging a complaint, it would complicate the issue on hand. A guest who does not get an opportunity to complain or feels that the complaint was not handled well can cause negative reputation to the hotel, and sometimes worse if the guest approaches print media. Every guest nowadays is highly dependent upon the reviews written by the previous guests who stayed in the hotel or who availed hotel services. If such negative reputation goes on social media, that can hamper the hotel reputation and its business a lot. Hence, when guest finds it easy to express their opinions, both the hotel and guest stand to benefit. That means guest also gets an opportunity to express his feelings, and at the same time hotel also understands where exactly the staff is going wrong. Is there a need to relook at the services that are offered to the guest or even the product that is being sold to the guest? There are four categories of complaints that are usually received in the hotel. The first one is mechanical. The second is attitudinal. The third one is service related, and the fourth one is unusual. Let us have a look at each type of complaint in detail. Mechanical complaint. These complaints are usually concerned with the climate control of the air conditioner, lighting, electricity, room furnishings, ice machine, vending machine, door keys, plumbing, television sets, elevators, and so on. So, what does that mean? This is the complaint which is related to the machine or operation of that particular machine. Even an excellent preventive maintenance program sometimes cannot eliminate all potential programs, leading to complaints. Sometimes, the speed of response of these problems can be the real cause. That means guest does not really mind if any of the equipment is not working in the room, but he definitely gets upset if his complaint is not taken seriously or the repair has not been carried out efficiently. So the time that is taken to solve or resolve the problem is also very important along with the machine that is getting operated in the guest room or even public area. It is essential to have good tracking method to ensure timely service. Effective use of logbooks and maintenance work orders may help to reduce the frequency of mechanical complaints. The second type of a complaint is the attitudinal complaint. Guests, when feel insulted by rude behavior of the staff or the way he or she tackles the guest problem, may lead to the attitudinal complaint. The wrong way of handling is just not accepted. The possibility of guests overhearing staff conversation or arguments may lead to the involvement of guests expressing the attitudinal complaint. It's the manager's or supervisor's job to deal with staff grievances, and guests must not become the voiceover for your staff members. One must remember this is a critical aspect of maintaining solid guest relation. In fact, the hotel staff should make a conscious effort to avoid discussing any personal or departmental issue in the presence of any guest. The next one is service related complaint. These can be wide ranging about things like long waiting time for service, lack of assistance with luggage, untidy rooms, missed wake up calls, ill prepared food, or requests for additional guest supplies being ignored. So, typically, these are the complaints wherein guest requests are not looked at, completed, or adhered to. These type of complaints are usually received at front desk when the hotel is operating nearly full or absolutely full occupancy. The fourth type is unusual complaint. These kind of complaints are the complaints where staff has little or absolutely no control over the situation. Complaints can be absence of a swimming pool, lack of public transport infrastructure near the hotel, or it could be bad weather. These are some examples of the unusual complaints. Though the staff may have no control over these complaints, they should give a patient hearing to the guest and empathize. Because sometimes even the guest is aware that the complaint that he is making to the organization is just not the right one. But what they want is the patient hearing from the staff. They want someone to listen to them carefully and at least empathize to make them feel better. The management must give their staff proper orientation in dealing with such complaints in anticipation. Because here the guest is not blaming hotel or hotel staff. The whole blame is or the whole complaint is about the situation that he is in. That is why the patient hearing is the only solution to handle unusual complaints. After looking at the different types of complaints, let us have a look at some reasons that may cause inconvenience to our guests. It could be guests being absolutely unfamiliar with the hotel policies. That means sometimes the guest arrives early in the morning and he's been told that the room is not ready because He's not expected so early in the hotel. Guest arrives at front desk only to find that their room has been relent because they did not guarantee the booking and the room was released at 6 p.m. Sometimes guest is unfamiliar with the terminology that hotels use. Say, for example, guest books a room and expects a double bed, not the twin beds, that is, two single beds. So one needs to be extremely careful while explaining the rooms to the guest or ask questions which will give you clear idea about what guest exactly wants when he comes to stay with our hotel. When the hotel is fully booked, guest does not believe front office that the hotel is fully booked and they show reluctance to go to any other hotel to stay. Sometimes impolite front desk staff also is the reason for guest inconvenience, wherein the guest feels ignored or a telephone of a hotel is kept on hold for a long period of time without realizing the inconvenience and irritation the guest would feel. Sometimes there are errors made by the hotel. A guest books a twin room and is given a double room. Sometimes the guest is overcharged. Or a guest does not receive requested wake up call or early morning call. So these errors are mostly service related errors that are done by the hotel staff and some external problems that may lead to a lot of irritation and complaints from the guest. The guest luggage is lost by the airline, or sometimes the guest is expecting a visible that has not arrived. A guest has mislaid their safe deposit key. There could be any reasons, or there could be many such reasons because of which there can be an inconvenience to the guest. We as hotel staff need to be very patient, empathetic in terms of understanding the situation and giving them solution. When there are guest complaints, there is also a guest complaint cycle, and front office staff should follow this guest complaint cycle for the effective handling of any complaints that are received at front desk. The front office management and staff should keep following steps in mind while dealing with guest complaints. Listen, empathize, apologize, take action, and follow up. When expressing a complaint, the guest may be quite angry. Front office members should not make promises that exceed their authority. At the same time, they should not get pressurized because one should understand that the guest is angry about the situation, not at the front office staff. Honesty is the best policy when dealing with the guest complaints. If a problem cannot be resolved, front office staff should admit this to the guest as early as possible rather than making false promises of resolving the complaint. Front office staff should be advised that some guests complain as part of their nature. The staff should develop an approach for dealing with such guests. There are 10 ways to handle guest complaints. The first one is listen. Listen with concern and empathy. Isolate the guest if possible so that other guests won't overhear. Stay calm. Do not argue with the guest. Be aware of the guest's self esteem. Show a personal interest in the problem. Try to use the guest's name frequently. Give the guest your undivided attention. Concentrate on the problem. No on placing blame. Do not ever insult the guest. Take notes of all the key facts that are given by the guest. Guest tends to slow down when they see the front office desk agent is trying to write their issue very seriously and genuinely. Tell the guest what can be best done. Offer choices, but do not promise the impossible and also do not exceed your authority. Set an approximate time for completion of corrective actions. Be specific. Do not underestimate the amount of time it will take to resolve the problem. In fact, tell the guest 5 to 10 minutes more than the required time because guests will never complain if the job is done before time. But yes, if job takes more time than promised, then it is definitely the reason for him to become upset. Monitor the progress of the corrective action. The last one, but not the least, even if the complaint is resolved by someone else, contact the guest to ensure that the problem is resolved satisfactorily. That means guest also feels that not only the responsible person for resolving the issue, but also other staff members do care about his comfort while staying in the hotel. Here we come to an end of today's session on situation handling. Students of AI SSMS College of Hotel Management are requested to attempt a short quiz for which the link is featuring in the description. Thank you so much for attending my session on situation handling. In case of any questions, feel free to post it on the given email ID on the slide. Hope you all enjoyed this session. Be home, be safe. Take care. And thank you so much.